Hey, what's up, survivors? Welcome to another mind-blowing Z-Log from Zombie Go Boom. I'm Chuck Murray, and I'm putting the Z-Log on the main channel because I have a couple of things that are really important that I would like to say. One of them is the giveaway where you can win whatever phone you want or whatever game console you want is still going on, and it's going to keep going on for another 2 weeks. And yes, the winner will get to pick whatever phone or game console he or she wants. If you're interested in participating in that giveaway, please click on the link in the description below. Also, I just wanted to say that we're very, very close to 1 million subscribers. Very, very close. We're about 8,000, maybe less away as I'm making this video. And I wanted to show you guys this right here. When we reach 100,000 subscribers, Nate O'Gwyn and I, Charles couldn't be there sadly, hopefully he'll be there for the celebration this year, but Nate O'Gwyn and I decided to celebrate, and we bought this flask of Crown Royal, and we drank it, and we celebrated. We were pretty, and but anyway, as you can see, 100,000 subscribers right there. So I'm hoping to make one for 1 million. Hopefully we'll have more people there, so I'll get to buy a much bigger one. And that's just a tradition that we kind of started. Usually we don't drink during that time. We get like little trophies like this one. This was 300,000 subscribers, and I have some that are just basically bottles of what I had at the time because it happened so quickly that I didn't have any time to celebrate, so I was drinking like a Perrier bottle, and so I just wrote whatever number it was. I kind of stopped doing that because it got kind of ridiculous, but I'm definitely gonna do it for 1 million. In case you guys are curious, here's my Emmy Award that I won in 2011. It's a regional Emmy, but it's still an Emmy, so I'm kind of proud of that. Everything that's up here is basically stuff that I'm proud of. And a fan just recently sent us this ridiculous folding knife. Let me put the camera here so I can show it to you guys. So it's just a huge John Deere novelty folding knife, and he wants us to test it out. So I'm sure we'll get to that soon, but I don't imagine this thing is actually going to make it. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of you guys are always asking me, hey, how do you guys make the Ivan heads, or can we buy the Ivan heads? Well, right now we're trying to work on being able to manufacture enough Ivan heads to be able to sell them again. Sadly, it takes a lot of money to make each one. It takes a lot of time to make each one, and the deal that we were working with in order to be able to lower the costs and make them in bulk by partnering with another company fell through. So we're still trying to pick up the pieces and figure it out. But I've been working on a new cranial cavity in order to make sure that the cavity itself is 100% anatomically correct, or as close as I can get it, so that the skull thickness is the exact thickness as the average human or zombie skull, and the cavity itself is the same volume essentially. So what I did was I got this skull, and it was a full skull. I just took off the facial bones and all of that stuff, but here's the skull, and then I opened it up, and I used clay to get rid of the undercuts here. That's very important if you're trying to make a positive of the inside of this head, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I know it might sound confusing to a lot of you guys that don't know what exactly is going on here, but basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to cast a positive of this negative cranial cavity, and so that I can give you a visual representation of what that means, I made this. So using this sort of plastic composite, I was able to turn this into this, and this is PVC, and then I added some clay here in order to make the shape that I wanted. So here's a totally anatomically correct cranial cavity. I used this right here to make this mold. Okay, this hard part is called the mother mold. Inside is the actual mold made out of silicone rubber. So I open this up. I'm going to show it to you guys. So I took that positive, and made a negative out of it, right? And the reason is so I can cast a bunch of them without having to use this thing, because this would never last. And then from that, I was able to make this. Now this is the first brand new Zombie Go Boom Ivan head or Tim head cranial cavity, and it's, you know, this isn't the skull. Even though it's hard, this is actually inside of the skull, and then it's attached to 3/4 inch PVC pipe, and basically you take this and you put it in the Arnold mold, you fill it up with our bone material, and you get an Arnold head, which basically looks like a human skull. And then you take that Arnold head and you put it in a Tim head or Ivan head mold in order to make the flesh and skin layer on top of that. So each one of these heads is 4 layers of realism: cranial cavity, skull layer, flesh layer, and skin layer. And we're making them more and more realistic as we go on. And yes, we are hoping to be able to get them to you guys, or maybe come up with some kind of course where we can teach you guys how to make them yourself, because we shouldn't have all of the fun. But either way, we're still trying to get them better and better and better. And we recently did some material tests. Basically, we were taking some different plastic and different composites and different fillers and different stuff like that, and putting them together in order to find a material that was more like bone, because what we're using right now is ridiculously tough and it's very plasticky, which means that it's sort of stretchy a little bit, and at the same time semi-unbreakable, which means that our results, even though it, you know, if you get through an Ivan head or a Tim head, it definitely means that you would be able to do it in real life. It's a lot harder than it would be in real life. Bone is a bit more brittle than just regular plastic, so it tends to break a little bit before this stuff does. So this material right here is what we're currently using on our Ivan heads, and now we've developed this material right here, which is a lot closer to bone. It's a little bit more brittle, but it's also harder, and it's still very, very tough. So basically what's gonna happen is we're gonna have cranial cavity, which is this material right here, and around it about 1 centimeter of this material will go around it as the Arnold head. Of course, the jaw will be completely solid, again, out of this material. And then outside of the Arnold head, you will be able to get the flesh layer and then the skin layer. And we're also going to be working on trying to figure out a way to make a brain. So not just a cranial cavity, but a brain inside of this. Or maybe the cranial cavity becomes a brain, depending on what kind of materials we can mess around with. Of course, that stuff takes time and money, and we have to make a weekly show. Hopefully we can make more than just 1 episode a week on Zombie Go Boom. We would like to get to that point, and we're getting there. The views are getting a lot better. The subscriptions are going up and up, and that's really, really helping us out a lot. We were able to get the camera that I'm using right now because of that, and this camera is great. It's a Canon Vixia Mini X, and basically it's point and shoot. So I mean, I have a light set up, but it's not a big deal. Just one light, boom, bouncing it off the wall. It's like a 3000 lumen LED work light, and that's good enough to get a really good image quality from this camera. But what I really like about the camera, besides the fact that it has a cool fisheye lens, right, is the fact that it's the audio for the camera is prioritized. So the microphone is a nice stereo microphone, so I don't have to like mic myself or try to figure out a way to, you know, really get some good sound. It's pretty easy to do that. So I'm gonna be able to make videos like this one more often, and maybe put them up here on the main channel since they're higher quality. Please let me know in the comment section below if you enjoy watching these kinds of videos here on the main channel, and I'll listen to you guys because you know, I care, and I want to make videos like these because I feel like videos like these are the kind of videos where I really get to connect with you guys, and I really get to show you a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes in order to make Zombie Go Boom, because a lot of people probably think that we're millionaires and that we just have fun, and making a Zombie Go Boom episode is as easy as pushing that easy button, and then all of a sudden a really badass episode comes out. And it's not like that at all. There's a lot of work involved, and we also have personal problems. You know, we're human beings, we're ordinary guys with sort of an extraordinary job, but we're just like you guys. So I think the more that you guys can see that, the more that we'll be able to connect to you guys as people and as friends. Also, you can connect with me more closely by checking out my Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I'll put the links below. Charles also has all of those things. I'll put those links down there too, if you care. Again, that giveaway, it's for another 2 weeks. You can win whatever phone you want, whatever game console you want. It's a lot of fun, and please support Gizmo Slip. I'll put the link to their channel in the description below as well. And I really hope you enjoyed that behind the scenes look at Zombie Go Boom through this Zlog. I love you guys. If I come up with something else that I'd like to say, I'll let you know. Also, in the episode on Sunday, I'm going to show you how we came up with what material we decided to use. We basically did a break test. Charles and I made a bunch of different types of material going up in density, and we beat it with a hammer and cut it with the Jessica X, and it was a lot of fun, and it helped a lot because now we know where we're headed with these Ivan heads. And as you can see, this material right here, not porous in the slightest, and bone is a little bit porous. This material right here is a tiny bit porous, much closer to bone. And you'll see that a lot more specifically and in depth in the episode tomorrow, where we will be testing the Jessica X, designed by Chris Tanner, made by Schrade, and it performed very well. I think you guys will really like it. But anyway, with another mind-blowing Zlog from Zombie Go Boom, I'm Chuck Murray. If you enjoyed this, please punch the living crap out of that like button and let me know in the comments below. I love you guys, and we will see you, or I will see you, next time.